for it. I think they named
Mitch Johnson, the assistant coach.
Assistant coach.
He was the interim coach this year for a majority of the season, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought it was. Remember, we said it before. We thought it was gonna be Tim Duncan, but that didn't pan out. So we got to give Pop his flowers. He's been coaching for a long time, 5 championships over that span. Like I said, one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Stop egging on, man, and go ahead on, dog. You keep y'all.
I'm about to.
Olympic winner.
Just go ahead on with it, man.
Yes. He was a part of the Olympics. He was part of the Olympics.
Multiple teams as a head coach and an assistant too.
Yes, and his system, just like the triangle, his system was one of the best systems in basketball.
Yes.
Okay, so we gonna leave that alone. So
multiple All-Star coaching, all that good stuff. He had a great career.
Okay.
Great career.
So, okay. Now my guy, right? Mr. Clutch, aka Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson.
Yes, sir. JB.
Right? He's won Clutch Player of the Year. That's a new award that they brought in to the league a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They call him Captain Clutch. Now, the Pistons hard-fought series, we went 6 with the Pistons, and the crazy thing about the Pistons is this is a team that only won 14 games last year.
Yeah. It's the biggest turnaround in NBA history.
Yeah.
As far as
now, Bart Scott said something and said that the Pistons, this is the worst they're going to be in the next couple of years. This is the worst that you're going to see the Pistons outside of injuries that you're going to see because they're going to get better. They're going to get back Jaden Ivey and Beef Stew, a.k.a. Isaiah Stewart. But it was a hard-fought 6 games.
Uh-huh.
The Knicks prevailed by a phenomenal shot by Jalen Brunson. Right now, that's the bucket of the playoffs. He hit him with a Dwayne Wade.
Is that? What about Aaron Gordon? That dunk.
That I don't know about play of the playoffs because that was still close. They had to review it. That was the closest. I don't know, but that wasn't better than the Jalen Brunson game winner.
Probably, yeah. He walked him down.
Yeah, he walked him down.
Plus Thompson, he was on him all series.
The whole series.
Yeah, he's impressive too.
Thompson, both of them.
Both of them. Yeah.
Now he's young. Thompson, when he really learns how to play the game, because Jalen Brunson kept baiting him into fouls. He got into foul trouble a couple of the games. But when he learns to put the defense with the offense, him and Cade, that backcourt, but he hits him with a beautiful, and I'll clip it up in the when we talk about it, when I post it. He hits him with the little, Dwayne Wade shot where he, it wasn't no Jordan push off with Jordan, kind of offensive foul. It wasn't that. He hit him with that.
You ain't gonna bait me in either. Go ahead.
Nah, I listen. We good. He hit him with that, and he hits a 3. Yeah. Now the Pistons, there was about 3 seconds left. The Pistons still had an opportunity to ice the game or tie it.
Yeah.
And dude fumble. Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
Fumbles the ball. Knicks win. Now the Knicks, they advance. They play Boston. This ain't going to be the Pistons. The Boston and Pistons are 2 different teams.
Yeah.
So the stuff that we didn't get right against the Pistons, we have to clean it up ASAP. Because the mistakes that you got away with Boston, with the Pistons, yeah, that ain't going to work against Boston.
So what's your pick?
We're going to do the picks in a little bit. We still got it.
Just don't acknowledge. Okay.
No, we're going to do the picks. We're going to do the picks. Yeah. We just going to, right now, I'm going to give you my picks. Don't worry. I got some. Okay. So, yeah, the thing that scares me right now with Boston is that they played Orlando, and it was like they wasn't playing series. They was kind of closer through that series, and they still won in 5. Although Orlando is a tough team, they was missing some players.
Better defense. Orlando had probably a better defense than anybody who's going to play.
Yeah. Well, outside of if they advance the Cavs.
Yeah.
I like the Cavs.
Yeah.
They play good defense. But yeah, it's
Well, based on the game that from y'all and the Pacers were coming from, that's the best defense they were going to face.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But Jalen Brunson, man, it's for a player, and me and Nam, we go back and forth over Brunson. And my thing with Brunson is he's a great offensive player, but he's not, in my opinion, he's not one of those top point guards. He's one-dimensional. If his shot is not falling, he's not going to give you 17, 18 assists. He's a guy that you can pick on defensively because you got to hide him on defense.
You know they will. Pick and roll him to death.
So who going to be guarding him, Drew or Pritchard?
You probably going to
One
put
of them
Drew
two.
on him.
Yeah, so that's going to be a problem in itself.
Yeah.
6'7".
You can either put
Drew-
Drew or
Pass.
White.
Yeah, Drew is not going to stop.
That's
Yeah.
that's no better. 6'8".
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
right.
So
No better.
Right.
Jalen Brown is no better either.
The thing about they can throw multiple guys at him.
Yeah.
So, but in order for so we relied on Jalen Brunson for the Pistons series. This series has to come down to Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, Cat going to have to. The thing about Boston and they run.
Yeah,
They run and they kick the ball out. Probably,
they put up
because they already got somebody waiting down there at the perimeter already.
They're gonna put up 43s.
Yeah.
yeah. So
They're just gonna launch.
the I've been screaming this all year. Anybody that knows me know I was upset when we got rid of Julius Randle, right? When we make a trade for this, for when we make a trade and we get Cat, there's no more excuses, Karl Anthony Towns. We made this trade so that we could be closer to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't show up this series, we basically flushed, two of our core guys for you, and then you don't show up. In order for us to have a chance, he needs to average at least 25 and 10, 25, 15 rebound.
So let's throw it out there. If Porzingis is looking nice, he's going to present a problem for a Cat to shoot.
Yeah,
because he can come out to the perimeter and guard too.
But what I would do,
And vice versa.
I would put
Right.
Mitch
He'll
on
force him to
Porzingis.
guard him in the perimeter. too.
Right.
I would put Mitch on Porzingis. Mitchell Robinson. Start him, finally. Move Cat to the 4. So him and Harford, they probably won't match up with each other, but I wouldn't put Towns on Porzingis because that's a matchup nightmare. He's going to get in foul. Porzingis might get him in foul trouble.
That's what I'm saying.
He was in foul trouble in some of the series too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would put Mitchell
That's
Robinson
without
on.
Stewart.
Yeah, I'll put Mitchell Robinson on Porzingis and hope for the best.
I'm going and tell you now,
Hope for
dog.
the best.
I'll go ahead and tell you.
Hope for the best. A 5-game series, bro.
It's-
That is you can't do that. You can't live like that.
I mean,
That's a lot to put on Bridges and
OG, no, Bridges and OG, they already got their assignment.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of pressure to put on them to put points up. Him, Josh Hard, and them guys. Because if Cat ain't running, if he ain't getting it,
Well, my personal opinion, if Brunson looks at it like this, let me get my guys involved first 3 quarters, we got a shot. I don't need to take 35 shots a game this series. Drew Holiday, Derek White going to make it difficult for me. If I can get them involved early, I can come through down the line in the clutch. Because if they start blitzing Jalen Brunson because he's trying to chuck up shots, guys are not getting in the rhythm. If I get these guys in the rhythm early, you can't blitz me
well,
because guys are knocking down shots.
I say this is you going shot for shot with Boston is going to be crucial.
It's not. Yeah, that's what I say. This is one thing that pisses me off about the Knicks offense. You got a 7-foot in Towns and you got Jalen Brunson who can beat anybody off the dribble. Why not run the pick and roll? Why not? If you're gonna isolate, go to one side of the court. Everybody, whatever. We're gonna run the pick and roll and then run our offense that way.
But see, the problem with that is Towns wants to pick and pop. He don't want to roll.
Facts.
That's
And
what it
he's
because
slow.
yeah, that's
He's
like
slow.
you have to have like an Anthony Davis type of presence. When he rolls downhill, that lob is there. Towns is not a.
He ain't a leaper,
He's like you can't just throw it anywhere.
and he's
Or-
he's a little soft. Like
Yeah.
like don't have pick and roll. You gotta be able to box this man out.
Yeah, you got to like
Or
run
you can
downhill.
Right,
You can
right,
run it.
right.
You can run it.
Freight
with,
train with no brakes. You
Right.
got to get downhill.
You can
It's
run
not.
it
It's
with
not that
Mitch.
it's easy.
You can run it with Mitch.
It works with Mitch.
You
They
could, yeah.
they run it with Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom, we're gonna draw up a play real quick. Them two on one side, pick and roll. You got two shooters, Bridges and Anunoby.
But Towns wants to be the shooter.
You can make him a shooter.
That's the problem here.
He's one of the
wants
best.
to-
He wants to
he
be
wants
the
to
shooter
step
in
back
the
and
short
shoot it.
corner.
He does, but he's one of the best. I give him this. He's probably the greatest 3-point center of all time. That can shoot threes.
Center.
I can't think of no other center that can shoot threes.
I think Joker can give you an argument for that.
Who?
Joker.
Nah. Cat shoots at a way better clip than Joker. He shoots it better and his percentage is better.
I mean, that's all he does anyways. He takes more threes than maybe twos.
Yeah, so that's what
But
I'm saying.
okay, just with the argument,
if we're running Cat at the 3-point line because he doesn't want to bang down low,
Right.
we can run a pick and roll with Mitch. Now you got three shooters on the perimeter, and then that gives Jalen Brunson space to operate. But if he's just trying to go 1-on-5 ISO, that's not going to work against Boston.
I got a question for the both of y'all, right? Because we're looking at it from what the Knicks need to do offensively. How do the Knicks stop Boston defensively?
We can't.
That's
why we
probably why we ain't talking about it.
We can't.
I think that's the $1 million question here.
We can't stop
Because
them defensively.
Yeah.
if you can't stop them defensively,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a short series. Because Boston is very efficient.
Yes.
Granted, they do shoot a lot of threes. They're very efficient.
But they shoot it at, like you say, a very high
very
clip.
it's very efficient. So
Everybody on the freaking floor can shoot it.
what are the
about it.
Knicks gonna do to stop that
See, I'm not worried about the
or slow it down?
I'm not worried about the starting five. What's so underrated about Boston? Their bench
Yes.
can get. Yo, you had two guys, right? What was it? It was White. Was it White and Pritchard that had 40 points?
Yep.
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah.
Bro, you got two role players that can give you 40.
Yeah.
Our entire Knick bench can't get you 40 off the bench
Combined.
combined.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the starting five, but Pritchard, hell of a good player.
Yeah.
And I can't think of, he was on the Knicks too. The tall white boy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. He's solid.
I can't think of his name, but he was on the Knicks too. He was center or whatever. Then they have the other guy. Their rotation is solid.
Yeah, they can rest guys with no problem.
But no problem.
Yeah.
Tatum, no problem.
Yeah.
Brown is not 100%, no problem.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, I don't think he played the rest of the series. No problem.
Because, Pritchard was high.
Listen, I don't really know how you guys stop Boston. Even though Boston, like you said, they're banged up because Tatum with the wrist. I don't know the status of that, but I mean, he's gonna play. All these guys are still gonna play.
Just being on the court is a problem.
Yo, Tatum got that boss man D-Lo wrist. That's all he do, talk about his wrist though.
Yeah.
Every song. All right. So we're gonna come back to the picks. I give you the picks.
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm
got you.
saying?
Yeah.
The biggest series or the biggest talking point of the whole playoffs has been the Los Angeles Lakers.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. But the only difference was the Lakers in 5 that we thought it was going to happen,
Everybody called it though.
except for me.
No, the whole world called Lakers in 5.
Yeah, they had a whole list of everybody.
Yeah.
Went Lakers
They-
in 5.
they had the
Lakers
whole
in 6.
world.
Yeah.
Led by Shannon Sharp.
We said Lakers in 5.
Led by Shannon Sharp. Lakers in 5.
Which 5? Which way?
Now, that's the difference. Now, just for the record, I picked Timberwolves to win the series.
Yeah.
But the Lakers lose in 5 games. One game, I think it was game 4. The starters didn't come off the bench. I mean, the starters didn't get arrested at all.
Both games.
Was it?
4 and 5. They played the whole second half.
Now, I'll say this. J.J. Redick, first-year head coach, he did a good job. He showed his inexperience in the playoffs. As far as you make a move like that, I think he kind of panicked in that situation. Now, I know he got veterans on the staff or whatever, but I think he panicked. Whenever you're asking a 40-year-old guy to not get any rest, that spells trouble. Whenever you asking a defensive liability to play the whole second half. Spoelstra.
Two defensive liabilities.
Yeah,
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves is another defensive liability. So, and Minnesota has a nice bench. DiVincenzo, Reed, Nas Reed,
Nikhilo Alexander.
Nikhilo Alexandra. That's Shea Cousin. Yeah, they pretty much controlled this whole series. If you look at the bench, they had a better bench than the Lakers. You look at the starters, they matched up well with the Lakers. And the Lakers had something that LeBron said in his press conference that they didn't have no big man. And I don't know why they thought they was going to go through the playoffs with no big man. Because God forbid they ran up against Joker, then what?
Well, and the same result was going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
hell, even if they played the Clippers.
Clippers, exactly. The Clippers, OKC got 2 big men.
4.
So it's like, how long did they thought that was going to happen?
I understand you saying that, you asking a 40-year-old not to get any rest, blah, 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 blah. But this is what you prepare for all season. You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen. I mean, you're playing. Granted, you're 40 years old and whatever else, but you're playing. And that's the team that you have. Now, that was, in my opinion,
Why are you looking at me?
I just want to let you know this is my opinion, okay, not a debate. My opinion. Okay, the AD trade was stupid.
It was.
He should have kept AD. You know what I'm saying? And not even went through that. The boy was playing out his mind. I don't know this is what you've been begging for the longest. For him to stay healthy and him to play. You know what I'm saying? And you make the dumb trade. So that's what JJ and the Lakers had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota was, younger, more, you know what I'm saying? And had more players on the bench. And it's like you said, it didn't matter if they met them or Denver or the Clippers. They weren't going to go past the first round. I told you they were a 50-win team out in the first round.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that.
They did.
They definitely. Now, granted, they tried to make a trade for Williams from the Hornets, but he didn't pass.
That got botched. Yeah, he didn't.
But you gotta search for somebody, because you had Jackson Hayes. He clearly was outmatched. So you gotta try your hardest to get somebody.
But you can still play him.
Yeah, you can, but then you got somebody like Boogie Cousins. You got somebody like Dwight Howard. These guys are available. I really thought that Dwight was coming back because there was talks of that for a minute. I would have had Dwight and Boogie come back. Boogie, you out of shape? Well, from February to April is 2 months. We give you 2 months to get in shape. We might need you for the playoffs.
You can call any of these other teams that didn't make the playoffs either.
And AD is hollering about being the 4. Okay, you could have let him play the 4 and got one of those guys.
Dwight Howard,
you could have done that.
Yeah, it's.
But that part of that AD trade was them looking at the future. Like, okay,
yeah,
we can get Luka. This is our future.
Mm-hmm.
Like we mentioned, most GMs haven't been able to figure out post LeBron era.
Yeah,
they just figured it out. It just
yeah.
Luka is gonna be the future. We have to eat this AD trade, and we'll be building next year.
Rob Pelinka, he's gonna really show his GM skills this upcoming summer. How does he construct the team? Because he made that move, and then it was like, okay, like you said, that was for the future. Now, okay, let's see you build from now.
Yeah.
You have a starting point, which is Luka, because LeBron got about another year or two. Let's see what you built the team, huh?
I say we say that every year too.
Yeah, but let's see you built the team from now. You got your piece. This is your bargaining chip. Now let's see what you do from that point on. So
for Luka to be so young, man, he sure has a lot of injury issues.
Yeah, because he flops. He's on the floor.
Yeah,
he does a lot of.
Conveniently, when you're losing, everybody gets injured.
Yeah, it's always something, man. With this guy,
everybody when you're down is looking real grim.
Yeah, like the sprained MCL and stuff.
It's always something.
Like I don't know that.
Remember last year he had a couple of years ago he had a hand injury or something like that.
Oh, Luka?
Yeah. LeBron.
What against who?
Whenever he got bounced out in the playoffs, he had his hand wrapped at the press conference. some wrist injury or hand injury. And
Yeah.
I don't doubt Go James.
I'm not doubting him
I don't
either.
doubt
I'm
Go
just
James.
saying what we've seen and what we know to be true.
They said
But
if he would have
nevertheless.
went extended, he probably wouldn't have played because he,
I mean, of course, that's what you're going to say. That's what you're going to say if you had went, you weren't going to play, but you played with that sprained MCL or whatever.
No, he got it sprained in Game 5.
Right.
When
right.
DiVincenzo ran into him.
You honestly think
Right.
the fate of the franchise and the season is on the line?
Oh, he would have played. He would have played.
Oh, okay.
But
then-
the thing is,
oh, okay.
nah, he would have played.
Don't
but
tell me that he's not gonna play had the series went on.
listen,
Don't lie.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
media.
Don't,
But
you know.
Here's the thing, right? LeBron's in a lose-lose situation. They're gonna blame him. The man is 40 years old.
I get it.
How much do you expect from a 40-year-old?
But
Stop playing.
But
If you don't want to get blamed, stop playing.
but
I ain't here to cry for
in
it.
this series, the blame is hand in hand JJ and also Luka.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, was Nico wrong?
Nope.
Nah.
Nico was wrong in the trade, but he had a point. He had a valid point. This guy, you can't win like this.
I ain't had my opportunity to say this, but I'm gonna get one out though. LeBron tried, Luka cried, Shannon lied. Minnesota in 5.
I mean, he was waiting his whole life to say that. He was waiting his whole
Just the
life.
past 5 minutes here.
I'm gonna clip that up. I'm gonna put that on.
Man. Is what about Ant-Man? What do we think of Ant-Man?
All right, knocking down legends.
He's the dog.
He's the Randy Orton of this, the legend killer.
That's what he's doing. I could be
Listen,
mad at him.
Ant-Man, and we said this before. Ant-Man, he's taking the mantle where Ja and Zion were supposed to take the league. They were supposed to be the next faces of the league. They didn't want it. Ant is showing them.
Ant and Shay.
Shay, yeah, but is Shay? No disrespect to Shay. Shay really marketable?
Well, he's on a lot of commercials, bro. So I mean, we knew Ja was marketable, but he wasn't getting up there like that. Started almost, but he's on a lot of commercials, man. So he's obviously marketable.
I mean,
a lot of commercials.
I think. Well, I agree with you on that, but I think Ant just has that
he
it
has
factor.
that it factor.
He got the charisma. He has that.
He has that fire.
Yeah.
He's gonna talk junk to you and
Yeah.
prove it, and people love that. It's
And
cinematic. You know?
Ant's game.
Shay is real cool,
Yeah. See,
calm, cool. He ain't really gonna say much. He's just gonna play.
Ant's game is more marketable, in my opinion, because what made Magic? He was the point guard of the Lakers. He was flashy. Kids come out to the park. Showtime.
Yeah.
You running down Showtime. What made Mike marketable? Air Jordan. I want to be like Mike.
Must be the shoes.
What made Kobe?
Spike Lee.
Yeah, what made Kobe marketable? He was the next coming to Mike.
Yeah.
He was a high flyer in his early career. And you look at Shay's game and you look at Ant's game. As a kid, granted, you're going to look at Shay as like, okay, he gets his 30 points, but that's not a 30 points that's like Steph Curry, even better. Look at Steph shooting threes from half court and stuff like that.
It's marketable.
Is marketable.
But the thing that to Steph's credit though, wasn't nobody doing that. Like that's why it was so easy to do.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
understandably,
Yeah.
but I'm saying Steph was marketable just by him not only shooting threes, but kids can look at Steph and say, well, I might never be 6'8", but I could be closer to 6'1", 6'2".
I can make shots. From
I
half
can
court.
make shots from half court.
You can sell somebody to believe
Yeah.
that.
Ant's more marketable because he's dunking on everybody.
That,
yeah.
that
Again,
Because he's
believe that.
dunking on
You know
dudes.
that his whole slogan. Believe that. Believe that.
Right.
Evidence
So-
A. All that good stuff. It's
Right.
very easy to sell.
But those two are going to be all the faces of the
Yes,
league.
for
though.
sure.
Especially how now I'll say this: Ant is putting together a way better resume, even though
agree.
OKC is number one.
Yeah.
Ant is putting, and if he can knock out, let's just say Game 7 is today with the Warriors in Houston. Either way, if Ant can knock off the number 2 seed after knocking out the number 3 seed, that's a notch on his belt.
Right.
If he can knock down another legend in Steph Curry, in the last 3,
Assuming.
what you call it?
Yeah.
You done knocked off Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry,
And payback for Luka.
The end of an era.
and you beat and payback for Luka.
Yeah.
That'll be the stamp. That's the end of that era. This is now Ant's era. And if they advance and play Shea, granted, that doesn't determine who's more marketable, but
Now we're playing. Okay, who's
now granted,
who's taking this era?
I would say this:
For now.
Oklahoma City, way better team than Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota is playing with house money at this point because
Even if Minnesota lost against OKC, I still would
And
be
still-
Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you look at a kid and you as a kid you see Ant-Man, he resonates with you because Ant is from the hood. Ant is from the hood, so you look at that like, oh, he's from the hood, he made it or whatever. No disrespect to Shea, but Ant has that it factor.
Shea- He's
raw.
he's
And
Canadian,
it's
right?
real
He's
raw.
Canadian,
He's
yeah,
Canadian.
yeah.
And it's real raw. He's just
He gonna say whatever he
He
feel.
speak his mind.
He's young, and so shout out.
But
to
that's the
Minnesota.
way Josh should have done it. Like Ant's doing it, but it should have been done that way instead of the antics.
without the guns.
Yeah, without the antics.
We
Yeah.
don't need guns for you to
And
make
that's
us
the thing.
believe.
You
You're
look
from
at
the
Ant,
hood.
and, Atlanta is just as south as South Carolina.
Yeah.
You don't see Ant promoting none of that stuff. You don't see Ant.
And we see how authentic he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can be yourself without portraying something else.
Right. That's a fact right there.
Yeah.
You can literally be from the hood and be yourself without having to look. I'm from the hood. I got guns and like.
Yeah.
You don't need the props.
Thank you.
Right.
You
Thank
can
you.
just have the personality that we can see. It'll
Yeah,
translate.
What
just
was
tried
that?
to-
What was that famous line? But Jay-Z said, "I'm from the hood. Stupid. What type of facts are those?"
Yeah, he was just trying too hard.
Yeah, you
That's
trying
all,
too hard. I ain't got to
hard.
say I'm from the hood. You can know I'm from the hood.
Right, right.
So shout out to Ant-Man. Shout out to Julius Randle. It's still my guy forever. Even though it's Knicks forever, I'm still pulling for Julius Randle to do good. We talked about it. The end of an era. LeBron. Clips. What do they do, man? They just lost Game 7 to Denver.
The end of an era too.
Put a
Got
bomb
blown out.
Put a bomb in the middle of the floor and blow it up.
Get Ja to throw a grenade over there. Yeah, just blow.
Yeah.
Now
rid
we
of
talked about teams that Kevin Durant could possibly go to.
Question, real quick. Who you building around?
Kawhi.
Who you building around?
No, yeah, I'm not building around.
You're
Kawhi.
not building around him at this point anymore.
Think about it like this. The
And
Clips
it's not James Harden either.
the Clippers could have been where OKC is. Because
yeah.
remember, they got rid of Shea Gilly
for Paul George.
for Paul George.
Right.
And 30,000 picks that are coming up now.
Yep.
Could be Cooper Flag.
Now, you were saying about KD?
Yeah, that's another team that he could possibly go to. But I don't know, man.
I hear, because, I don't have the best hearing, but I hear that, J.R. Smith is interviewing for the job at Phoenix.
I seen he interviewed.
I seen
I don't know. I don't know how that goes.
yeah, I don't because I don't think he has any experience at all. Like
That's
But JJ.
unfortunately, you got to get that. I
no,
don't know how you gonna,
JJ had at least some.
What?
He didn't have coaching experience, but broadcasting. Even though that's not the same.
Nope.
But you
It's
remember,
a point of view.
you do have when you do broadcasting. I don't know if people don't. You do get meetings and stuff like that with coaches. You pick brains and stuff like that. Especially for the national games, you kind of picking their brains. I don't know if JR has been around.
I'm thinking if he applying for the job, he obviously been doing his homework somehow. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Because you just said when you broadcasting, you to pick people's brains.
Yeah.
He might not been on TV to broadcast, but who's to say he hasn't been around?
I mean, he's
picking
been around the
brains of
game.
individuals.
He's been around the game, but
Right.
at least with Steve Nash was working with the Warriors.
Right.
Even Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was
yeah.
an
He was
analyst, and then he went upstairs.
Yeah, so you kind of make your you work your way up. You look at Spoelstra, one of the best coaches currently, was a video analyst.
Yeah.
So but at least these guys were connected to something that was tangible.
Well,
What do we know about unless something comes out that he was actually behind the scenes.
I think we question JR's coaching ability because of some of the boneheaded plays and statements that he's had in games and around the game. You know,
But how would that
antics.
work? How would that work in a?
I give
Because
him.
there's already a perception of Jr.
Yeah, I think that's the perception. Our
So-
perception of him as a player is dictating if we think he can coach.
If I'm a player,
I think that's what it is.
how am I gonna look at Jr. in the situation and not think that?
I don't know.
Because if you run into play, and in my head I'm like, okay, well, dog, you was in a situation. How can I listen to you?
You didn't
when
even know
exactly
the score.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a knock on Jr., but the perception is out there.
I say him give him a chance.
True.
Give
Give
him
him
a
a chance if
You're not gonna know. It's all assumptions.
I would love to see Jr. as a assistant first.
And he may have to go that route.
Yeah, I would
I
love
think
to
he's just reaching out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see Jr. as an assistant.
Yeah.
So then there's no question. He
Right.
put the work in.
Right.
He was an assistant, and if the team does well, obviously you know how that goes. Whenever the team does well, now they want to pick assistant coaches as head coaches. So I would love that to change the narrative before that gets out there, because you know it's not going to be JR's fault. But if they were to hire him and it doesn't work out, that's going to be another bad look for JR. I would do the home. I
would say experience. I don't know. It might be it would be a bad look for Phoenix.
For Phoenix, yeah.
But for him, that would have gained him some type of experience. You know what I'm saying?
You know
but
this league, man.
I know it.
Once there's something out on you, it's hard to get it off.
I mean, I'm with y'all, man. It would be nice if you just start as an assistant.
Yeah.
You know, get your feet wet.
Like a college coach real quick.
Yeah.
Get 2-3 years, because he's still young.
Right.
Get a couple years, college, boom, and then you work your way up.
You still think Houston loses tonight? Are they going to pull the trigger on KD?
Wouldn't you?
I would.
Wouldn't you?
Because you're right there.
Yeah, I would.
No. I'm saying if I'm Houston, I'm like, no, I'm going to continue to build with this young nucleus. Because think about it. This is Houston's first time going through this, just like the Pistons.
But
if I'm the Pistons, I'd rather get Giannis than KD.
You can keep your nucleus and get KD. Houston is one of the few places that has the cap, because all these guys they're not due for their maxes yet.
But if you're
it's
Phoenix,
a 2-year run, and you got a potential lottery you can throw at Phoenix.
Phoenix is probably
has no picks.
But that's the thing: is Phoenix going to want a player also, or they just want picks?
Well,
it all depends.
I think they need picks, because you have 2 max guys, so it's very difficult to get another max guy without going over the luxury tax again. They're over the luxury right now.
Unless they can find a way to get rid of Bradley Beal.
They can't, unless he gives away his no trade clause.
Yep.
And Book is the youngest out of all 3 of them.
Yeah,
so,
Book is not going to.
So
He's
you keep
going to be in
them.
Phoenix until he don't.
So you're stuck with these 2, no picks, KD.
Yeah.
If they give you a lottery pick or their lottery for KD, you take that. And you're clearing that big contract off your books.
Phoenix definitely looking for picks.
Speaking of picks, now we're going to go to the pick segment. So we got the Warriors and we got Houston.
Game 7.
I got the Warriors experience over inexperience.
Yeah, I got the Warriors.
What you got?
I mean, I go with what I said last time, man. I will go with the Warriors for experience, but I also said this series is going to go 7 games. So
you got the Warriors?
Yeah, just because that the light skinned brothers, man, with the eyes, man, they can go for 30 and 40 at any given time. So
Yeah,
All right.
we need Gobert to redeem. There's no way he's gonna get choked out in the playoffs. Draymond,
Draymond, Gobert.
we want to see that again,
I
right?
need that.
You gonna choke me twice.
So
dog.
we got Denver. We got Denver, and
we
we
got
got
dogs this time.
yeah, I know,
You
right?
think
Right.
Julius gonna let that happen?
Hell no.
Come on, man.
Hell no.
Come on.
We
man.
got Denver. We got OKC.
It ain't gonna be an easy series, but I still think OKC gonna win.
Call me crazy. I think Denver might win this in 6.
I got OKC in 6.
OKC.
Even though they weren't tested in that first round, I think they're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be an easy series, but OKC in 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Denver.
I
for
really,
some reason.
I really got him at 5. I'll only get him one game, but
I got
I'm gonna go with
one
6.
thing. Yeah, I got the Joker, man. I think he's gonna step his game up this series.
That's the only thing about that. Only thing about it is, man, is like I say, Jamal Murray. You just don't know which
Inconsistent.
version you getting.
Yeah.
Gordon, he's balling out. Your boy Porter, he
yeah.
is dropping shots out of the corner.
But he's
so
also inconsistent too.
Yeah. Right,
And then
see,
you
but
got Russ.
I think they're gonna
another inconsistency because you don't know.
Yeah.
One minute he's dunking, and one minute he can't even make a layup. It just goes right over the basket.
So y'all both got OKC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Denver 6, Cavs and Pacers. I got the Cavs at 4. Cavs and 4.
Nah, I'm gonna get Cavs in 5.
Cavs and 5.
Cavs and 5.
Yeah, Pacers gonna get one.
Yeah, Cavs and
And it'll
5.
be at home too.
Now we got the Boston Celtics. And we got the New York Knicks. I got my shiesty on now. Who y'all got?
Boston in 5.
Boston in 5.
Yep.
That's disrespectful. Who you got?
Jalen Brunson, Jalen Rams, Jalen Rose. Boston in 4.
Oh, see, I'm giving a gentleman suite. He giving you an outright suite.
Well, nah, but Boston in 5 though. Boston in 5. I'll give you that.
So we still getting gentlemen swept.
I'm gonna give you
5,
one
5.
in New York.
Just one in New York.
In New York. You gonna get one at home because the crowd is gonna be there behind you. You're gonna get one in New York, but
5.
5 games.
Listen, I don't care if it's Jalen Brown, Charlie Brown.
Or James Brown.
Listen, I don't care if it's Jalen Brown, Charlie Brown, or James Brown. Knicks in 6.
Or Cleveland Brown.
Listen. I don't care if it's Jason Tatum, Channing Tatum, or Jason Statham. Knicks in 6. Don't at me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some more next week.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna have some more next week.
Y'all got no chance, bro.
Listen,
Hey,
Y'all got
Boston
no
in
chance.
5.
Yeah,
we
y'all
got,
don't got no
big
chance.
body fourth quarter Brunson. We got Karl Anthony Towns, Bodega Cat. We got OG, the real OG.
Mm-hmm.
We got the real OG, and we got Mikal Bridges. We
Obi-Wan
good.
Kenobi.
Yeah, we got OG Juan Kenobi,
Yeah.
and we got Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges, Washington Bridges, San Francisco Bridges. Boston in 5, bro. Y'all don't got no chance. Stop it. Y'all
Hey,
got
look,
no chance, bro.
You could have added the Brooklyn Bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge.
Don't matter.
How many bridges y'all got there? 6? 6 in New York? You can run all bridges. Y'all don't have a chance, bro.
One game, dog.
Stop it,
Listen,
bro.
y'all gonna stop
Ain't no
disrespecting
way.
the Knicks, man.
Why?
Ain't no way.
Y'all gonna
bro.
just stop disrespecting the Knicks.
Stop it.
We gonna push it at least 6.